Hi, this is Poster Girl. Welcome to Band Wives, a show about the wives, lovers, and significant others and the musicians they love, hate, and tolerate. But mostly, it's about their lives, interests, and passions. This is the stage for those of us off stage, the biggest fans, the ones always there in the background. And today, I had the honor of talking to the lovely Debra Keevill, who is the other side of the late Ric Delozior. Debra, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here talking with me today and sharing a little bit of yourself with us. I have found that being the other half of a musician and a creator like that has an interesting perspective. So I'm very, very anxious to hear about you and your passions in your life today too. So welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing today?
Very good. Very good.
Awesome. So why don't you just tell me a little bit about yourself? How did you, I have seen, and you didn't grow up in Cleveland County, so.
I moved down here in 1989.
Okay.
I met a guy and fell in love with him and moved down here, and it didn't work out. But, we did everything. Everything went too fast. But I fell in love with North Carolina.
Yes.
I really did. I enjoyed it.
It's a great state.
And I thought it was a great place to raise my boys. Mm-hmm. And that's why I stayed. And my son lives here. My youngest son lives here. My oldest lives in Conway. But my youngest lives here.
Close to the beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
My youngest lives here with my two grandchildren, who I adore so much. My youngest grandson, was Ric's last student.
Oh, wow.
And
what an honored position.
It was Ric. Mason fell in love with the guitar.
Okay.
And Ric told me, first lesson he gave Mason fell asleep on the couch with the guitar laying across him. And Ric looked at me and he said, "Baby, he's hooked. He's hooked.
That's it.
We've got him."
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
How old is Mason now?
Mason's 14. He has a little band.
Okay.
He sets up, his mom and dad are very supportive. They're the best roadies you ever saw.
Oh, that's lucky guy.
That's what we get.
Yeah.
We get roadies and get plugged into wherever they need us.
Yes.
But he sets up him and a couple of the kids that he goes to school with, he sets up a little band. Uh-huh. And I mean, he's not shy at all. He's out there talking to everybody and he's singing, and I'm telling you, you can look him up on Facebook. He's Mason Keevill.
Well, I will do that. We will have to check out this young musician up and coming.
He loved Ric. He loved Ric. So did my whole family. We all fell in love with Ric.
Yeah. Well, he certainly was a wonderful man. I unfortunately didn't get to know him as well as some people did, but has an amazing legacy and contributions to Cleveland County and much further than that.
Oh, yeah. He has taught so many people here in Cleveland County that still say something to me about it. And he was the best way to put it, the most genuine, humble man I've ever met in my entire life. Mm-hmm. And I have been everywhere. I have been in every state except for North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, and Montana. I have lived everywhere, from Alaska to Hawaii, from Maine to Florida. I've been everywhere.
So you said you've lived in a lot of these places too?
Yes, I lived in Alaska for 5 years.
Did you? Oh my gosh!
I did commercial fishing up there.
Oh, how exciting! So what kind? Did you caught any kind of fish, or was it
mainly salmon?
Salmon.
Mainly salmon.
Okay.
I went out on one king crab trip, and it scared the devil out of me. I'll never do it again. It was cold, and then the time you had off, you're chipping ice off the boat so you don't sink. I said, "No, thank you."
It was a great experience while it lasted.
Yeah, 60 seconds life expectancy if you hit the water. I said,
"Oh, I'm sure."
No, thank you.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm cold all the time, so I can't even imagine what it would be like living in Alaska and then working out on a fishing boat.
Oh, I loved it. I loved it.
You're just, I'm impressed.
I get everywhere. I have been everywhere. I've hitchhiked cross country. I've done all kinds of stuff.
So what's your favorite state?
Alaska.
Alaska is.
It is my favorite state.
It's one of your favorites.
It is. It's the most beautiful, very nice people. I mean, real people, nice, always willing to help. You know, if you slide off the road, which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
If you slide off the road, not one or two cars will go by you. Somebody will help you. You know.
That is.
That's saying something.
That does say a lot. Very taking care of each other.
Yep.
Wow. Did you have children when you were living there?
Yeah, my oldest boy was born up there.
Okay.
My oldest boy was born in Alaska. My mother told me all the time, she kept saying, she says, I can just see you with a dog sled going to the hospital. No, it's not like that. But I took a Blazer.
Make sure you can make it.
Yes.
All right. So you think you'll visit all 50 states? Will you be able to put that on your list?
I'm putting those on my list.
Yeah.
They're on my list. Like I said, I've been keeping track, and I'm a history nut. I love history.
Okay.
So, and I really want to go see Mount Rushmore. That's one of the places I just want to go see. And of course, I want to go see that bike rally, you know.
Yes.
In Sturgis. I want to go see that. And Montana has always had I don't know. I've seen, when you live in Alaska, there's a lot of ads for Montana. They used to sell land up there for like $35 an acre, but there's nothing there. Just
land.
Yeah. The postal magazines I get, because I work for the post office now, and the postal magazines I get, they show a lot of the carriers that deliver by horseback.
Oh gosh, still by horseback.
Yes.
Well, I guess that's the surefire way to get where you need to go and not have to worry about sliding off the side of the road.
or having a road.
Well, that's true, having a road. I know it's kind of. I've never been to Alaska, but I've heard other people say things like what you're talking about. And living in, even though this is Shelby and Cleveland County, it's not necessarily a big city, big town or anything, but it's so strange to hear that there's places out there that there are no roads, that you have to get to people, get their mail to them, and how important the post office is.
Everybody's a customer.
That's right. And you have mentioned to me earlier that you're getting ready to retire from the post office. So
27 years.
Hopefully you'll have some more free time to do all
Are you kidding? I've already got so much penciled in. I'm not a sit around kind of girl. I like to do stuff. I've got a little wood shop underneath the carport that I make. I get old pallets from work, and I make outdoor furniture with.
Oh, nice.
And I mess around with that. And like I said, I got a little job that I'm going to do, a little cooking job. Okay. And that's about it.
So what do you like to cook?
Oh, I love to cook.
Do you? Okay.
Oh, Rick loved that about me.
Well,
he loved that. We never ate out. Well, Rick had an allergy.
Okay.
To chicken.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
I've heard that one other time before. That is such an unusual allergy.
Well, what got me is he was allergic to chicken but could eat an egg.
Yes.
How does that work?
The other person that I have heard that about, it's the same thing. They can eat an egg too, but not the chicken. Once it's hatched, it's done.
Guess the feathers or something. I don't know.
So you had to be. I know you don't realize how many dishes and how many things have chicken in them.
Well, when you go out to eat, a lot of restaurants use chicken broth for their green beans and for their rice and how they make everything. So Rick and I didn't eat out. We ate at home.
Yeah.
We ate at home. We cooked a lot. And he loved it. He taught me how to make barbecue, and he taught me.
Yeah.
Oh, he was an excellent cook. Excellent
so
cook.
It was something you guys got to do together.
Oh, yeah.
You got to share.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite meal that y'all made together?
Barbecue.
Barbecue was it.
That was it for us.
Yeah.
Because he showed me a lot of different things about pork, cooking pork, and, he had done it, his whole life, so.
Right.
I enjoyed that part. I really did.
He, He always lived in Shelby. I mean, he grew up in Shelby.
He grew up in Shelby. He did travel around.
County. Yeah.
You know, when he was with different managers, he traveled all over. Mm-hmm. He did tour with the Ohio Players for a 9-month period of time. I used to love to sit and listen to some of his stories.
I'll bet he had
great could tell some stories, I'm telling you. And they were all true to fact. I'm telling you, true to fact. That was the most honest man I've ever met. And it didn't matter how much it hurt. He would tell you the truth. Always.
Well, so while we're talking about Ric for a moment, why don't you tell me, so what, do you have a favorite song that he played, or?
New Beginning is one of the favorites that I have. Ric, a lot of people don't like instrumentals. I have always loved instrumentals. My all-time favorite song in the world is Little Wing, Stevie Ray Vaughan. No vocals.
No vocals at all.
I love it. The guitar does not need. You don't need to sing with the guitar.
It's speaking for it.
And it does. And Ric's guitar, he does another song, Lorraine. It was another one that was just, when he would do that, and he did a lot of Gary Moore tunes, you know, he did, you know, the blues, you know, Still Got the Blues. Oh, Lord of mercy. When that man would play, he'd melt my heart. Every time.
Stopped everything in your tracks.
It did. It did. That was beautiful about him. But him as a person was the most beautiful man I've ever met. You know, the most beautiful man I've met.
Well, I can see, even though this is a podcast and no one else can see, but you can just look at your face, Debra, and tell how much how proud you are of him and everything that he's done, and how much you loved him. So
wonderful.
Anyway, and I do have the honor to be sitting in his room here in your house, and all of his fabulous pictures and on the wall, and seeing his guitar here sitting out for him. So it's very nice
his room.
Memorial and legacy.
He worked in this room. I worked third shift, and it worked out perfect for us because he would work in here till 4 o'clock in the morning, just about every day. And he would always tell me, I did my best work between 12 and 4.
And
you know, and he would come in here, and then he'd go to bed, and then when I got off work, I'd just crawl right on in there, and that was our life. And it was wonderful. Wonderful life.
You had your time together, and
we
synced up perfectly.
Oh, yes. We spent a lot of time together. We were here all the time. Neither one of us didn't go out a lot, you know. Homebodies. We stayed home, and we always cooked, and we'd have people over. And when Ric was with Turbulent Society and the Delozior Band, they all practiced right here.
They all came here to practice.
Yeah, and they came here to practice, and then I'd fix something to eat for everybody, so this way everybody would get to eat. And then I knew that they all ate, you know, just the mother and me.
You had taken care of them.
Just the mom and me. But there's a lot of memories in this room. A lot of memories in this room.
You can tell, you can feel it.
Oh,
you can feel it. So the first time I've been out to your house was when you did the little farewell party for a leak.
Yes.
So that was the sweetest thing to do that for him, and
it
was obvious that he has a great deal of respect for Ric, and you too.
Oh yes.
So it was.
He's my young'un. Nice. I'm telling you, I adopted him when he came here. He had come to learn some Ric's expertise in music was really music theory. He was fantastic at theory. That was one of his he went to the Music Institute out in California.
Yes.
And that's how he got out there, as he won contest.
Okay.
And they paid for that. And he starved while he was out there because he didn't make any money, you know. But
he was living his dream.
Yeah, but Ric's expertise was in music theory, and that's where Elite needed help. And Nikeo started coming around, and Nikeo introduced Ric and Elite, and then they got together and started doing the band thing.
Yeah,
and it was just, and Elite was with Timmy Rakes.
Okay,
and He's a little cute little kid. I mean, cute little redhead.
The bass player?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cute little redhead. Looks like he's about 12.
He does.
He'll probably look like that till he's 50.
Probably.
But they got together. But Timmy was a dedicated musician. Mm-hmm. Timmy is a dedicated musician. But Alik, like I said, Alik was like my youngin'. You couldn't help but love him. He was a good kid, 22 years old when they met, just a great kid. And his energy and willingness to learn. I mean, he was following Ric around like a puppy dog.
All of it.
Oh, yeah. Following him around like a puppy dog.
Ric shared it all.
Oh, yeah. Anybody who would be willing to learn, Ric would teach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ric would teach. That's how we met. Yeah, he started giving me guitar lessons.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and we started talking on Facebook, and one thing led to another.
And here you are.
Yeah.
Well, so do you play guitar much?
Right now I don't. I do play a little bit. I dabble. I mess around with the guitar. Mm-hmm. I mess around with the piano. Oh. I sing a little bit. You see, I've got a little bit of goofy stuff I play around with in here. But me and Mason, we get together and goof off.
Oh, that's fun. What a great time to spend with your grandson.
When he comes over here, he used to come over here every weekend, and it got to be where he was calling me. And then when Ric came in the picture, forget my mom. He's calling Ric. And they were on the phone constantly talking. Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Oh. Those two cracked me up. But Mason absolutely loved him. I mean, absolutely loved him. My whole family did. Yes. Because Ric's personality, he just
exuded that.
Oh, he did. It just oozed out of him,
Charisma.
And he did. He had a charisma. He surely did.
It seems like he did. So, do you have brothers and sisters? You've mentioned your whole family. So
I do. Mm-hmm. My brother came up here to meet him. My other brother, I took Ric to Philadelphia with me.
Okay, yeah.
To meet my best friends up in Philly. And that's where we stayed. And he met my mom, and him and my mom just hit it off. I mean, that's my mom never liked anybody, but she loved him. And Ric enjoyed himself up there. I took him to Philly, and I took him all around. And then my girlfriend's husband was a bass player and a musician, and they did lights. Ginny did lights and sound, and I mean that type of thing, So, they had lots to talk about, So, and they both knew music so well. It was like two brothers that hadn't seen each other, and they got along really well.
It is a universal language. I have noticed amongst musicians and songwriters and vocalists, and that all of that. Those types of people, they can speak it to each other, and they find each other, and it's just like they've always known each other sometimes.
It is. It's like they were best friends. That's what he said. He said, it was like I knew him all my life. I said, good.
That instant and immediate connection.
Yeah.
Music does do that, and it elicits a lot of emotion and makes you remember stuff and think about stuff, and it just makes it paints a good picture. Well, tell me, Debra, we were talking a little bit earlier about the traveling, and you said you had some things penciled in. Do you have a specific trip that you're going to do when you retire?
Not yet.
No.
I haven't. I don't have any. I love to plan things, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to travel, I kind of go with my heart.
Do you?
What sparks me, and something will. And I'll do that when the time comes. Right now, I'm trying to get my house in order.
Yes.
Make sure all your ducks in a row before you retire. Because if you don't,
smart lady, yeah,
things could happen. So.
It is. It's a chapter that most people get to go through in their life, but it's a big chapter.
It is. It is. And you're closing one, so you're trying to make sure when you close this that it doesn't affect you the rest of your life.
Yes.
And you have to make sure that you have everything set up to where you want it to be. You don't want to be missing something. You don't. You want to make sure that you're going to do this the best that you can. And that's kind of the route I'm going on right now.
Smart lady. We should lot of us should learn from you there.
I don't know about that. I feel like because I've got so many, my hands in so many projects, I feel like I'm scatterbrained, but it'll work out.
So what's your favorite project right now?
Right now is my house.
Your house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get a couple things done. The flooring reminds me of something from the 70s, and I didn't like the 70s, so I'm going to change that.
You're going to change that. So, okay. Well, redoing your house does sort of breathe new life sometimes, and
yes, it does.
it's a good time since you're starting this new chapter too. So I was going to ask you too, I saw this on your Facebook page a while back. I didn't know, but it was, you had put down your favorite quote. Do you remember doing that? And it is, the choices you make dictate
the life you lead.
Yes.
That is my favorite quote.
That is so. Is it from something in particular? Is it your quote?
It's not my quote.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you. I said it for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I heard it on Renaissance Man, the movie Renaissance Man.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Was that the one?
With Danny DeVito?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the Marines or the Army or something. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Army.
In service.
And but I said it. My kids could tell you, I said it their whole life. Make good choices. Please make good choices.
Yes. We do say things like that to our kids a lot, but I thought it was very good. The choices you make dictate the life you will lead. And it's the little tiny choices sometimes and the big choices sometimes.
The smaller ones are even more than the big ones, really.
Sometimes they are.
Yeah.
They really do. So I always ask this question too, because I just think it's sort of a fun sort of thing to get from people. But tell me, what are your guilty pleasures?
I think guilty pleasures. I would. My heart always belongs to music.
Okay.
I love music,
Mm-hmm.
and I love to go and see different bands. I love doing that. You know, I've gone up to see Chris, and I love to. When he did that song for Rick.
Yes.
I was so touched. I left there in tears. I was like, oh my God. I was so touched by the whole thing. And I knew Rick would have been. Yeah. I knew he would have been.
They did do the song for Rick, and
right.
And that all of them did. I mean, because it's all 5 of them in the band. They all have their piece of it
right.
in there, and wanted to make sure that it honored Rick and in his memory. They
awesome.
have a good time playing
that it. That was awesome.
So I thank you for mentioning that. So it is very special to them too.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, I went up to see him play.
Yeah.
And I think it was at Izzy Q's.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I went up to see him play. And he said, I'm going to do this song. I want you to hear the song. I want you to hear the song. I said, okay. He started playing it. Oh, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Tears started flowing down my face. You know, I miss Rick very much.
Oh, I know you do.
Mean, Lord.
Every day. Every minute.
Every minute.
Mm-hmm.
But that song, oh my God.
So wonderful. So, well, thank you. Thank you. On behalf of Chris and all the Medicine Crow, all the guys, they appreciate your
it was just,
sentiment about
it
that.
It was touching.
So, and to share him with them a little bit.
It was touching. It did. Because you don't think people see.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You don't realize it.
You don't realize people see what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because Rick was larger than life. He was not a big man, but he was larger than life. His personality and his exuberance and his charisma just filled you every time you saw him.
Mm-hmm.
And I when I first met him, I couldn't get enough of him.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stand to be away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why when we were here, we were always here together.
Yes.
And it was every minute.
Was
my time was always valuable with him. And I enjoyed every minute with him. Mm-hmm. And I loved his family. Was always treated me like family. And, you know, I'm not from here. I don't have any family here except for my son.
Except for your son.
So to be treated like that was something else. I mean, his sister, Cindy, absolutely love her. And his mama, oh my God. Talk about steal your heart. I mean, I love her to pieces. I still visit her every once in a while, and I give her a call. Yeah. But just let her know that I still think about her and I still love her.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for giving you such an awesome man and such a wonderful man. Mm-hmm.
I thanked her all the time for that. Mm-hmm. All the time for that.
I hope Chris is okay with me saying this, but his mother passed away a few months ago, and that was one of the things that I, you know, kind of prayed about and thought about, you know, whenever it happened, and just I'm so grateful every day and thankful for her, for the man that she made.
That's right.
For me, basically. Well,
that's your obligation as a mother of a son. Yeah. And being a mom, I have 2 boys, and it's my obligation to raise them to be good men. Yes. My son, my youngest son, was born in 1983. He's not. His oldest daughter will be 19 in August. Okay. Mm-hmm. They've been married for 20 years. Yeah. They have a wonderful relationship. I love their relationship. I'm so proud of the man that he is. Mm-hmm. And that he's such a good man to her. That's what I wanted. That's all I wanted for them.
I know. Does your heart good, doesn't it?
I know. It does. It tickles me to death. And I absolutely love my daughter-in-law. I couldn't have asked. If I had asked for God to make a daughter-in-law for me, it wouldn't even come close to her. Because she's just the best. She is just the best.
That's wonderful. It is so nice whenever everybody is. Mm-hmm. You see how much they love each other and how much they take care of each other. So that is.
We're very close. You know, we talk. Mm-hmm. I was talking to her today. Her mom's been pretty sick, and I've been so worried about her. But her mom got that COVID shot, and I know a lot of people are pro-COVID shot. I'm not because I've just seen too many people have the same problem with this shot when it first came out, and her mom has really had a hard time. Aww. And please, if you can, keep her in your prayers because she's an awesome lady. She's was the general director, really, of Cleveland County's Special Olympics. My son and daughter-in-law used to be chaperones since they were 15 and 16 years old for Special Olympics. And her mom taught at North Shelby for 20 years. So these are God's people. These are God's people. And these are people that, you know, not everybody can do these things.
Yes, it does take
It takes a special person.
It does. With amazing gifts and talents.
Oh, yes. But they're awesome people. Mm-hmm. But her mom's on her way back, and I'm hoping that everything will work out for her because, like I said, they're we're we're family. Yeah, we're a family. You know, and I love them all. I do. I love them all. Mm-hmm. They're good people.
Well, I think you're pretty good people too, Debra. You're a beautiful, lovely lady, and I have really enjoyed my time with you today.
I'm glad.
I will wrap things up with us today. Is there anything else that you would like to tell me about, or?
I'd like to say, I do. If you are interested in any CDs or anything, I put a website up for Ric. Okay, yeah. And it had to go down for a little while because of health reasons for me. I was out of work for a little while, but I'm putting it back up. Okay. And if there's anything anybody wants to hear, or, you know, he's on Reverb Nation. Yes. YouTube. Okay. The only thing my main thing with Ric, he didn't want to be forgotten. Right. Don't forget him. Okay. Because he was an awesome man, and if it takes my last breath, I will be singing his praises.
You will, and you will make sure, I can tell, you are going to do everything you can to keep that legacy alive.
That's right.
So, okay, so tell me again. He's on Reverb Nation, of course on YouTube.
Right.
And so, what's the website?
The website is www.deloziermusic.com.
Okay, Delozier Music. So, DELOZIERMUSIC.com. Fabulous. Well, I'm glad you told me that, because we'll make sure that we promote that too.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And do everything we can too to make sure that his legacy stays there too.
And I appreciate this. This was awesome.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
This was awesome.
Thank you.
I was a little nervous about it, but I thought, I'm talking about Rick.
That's good. Right. You are. So, well, like I said a little bit ago, you're a beautiful, lovely lady, and the part of the point of this podcast is to say these are the people on the other side of the ones that most people see out on the stage. Yeah. So I appreciate you spending your time with me and sharing some of yourself.
Thank you.
So, thanks. Thanks for listening to Bandwise. Look for our next episode. Until then, this is Poster Girl wishing you a beautiful, badass life.